Okay, so here we go with part 2. Okay, so we're talking about, if you have too low carbohydrate intake, then you're going to have unfavorable testosterone to cortisol ratio. Next one is it's going to slow down your gains. So you're going to be spinning the wheels in the gym. You're not going to get muscle mass gains how you should, and you're not going to recover from your workouts as well as you should. So you're really like shooting yourself in the foot. I know there are guys out there who basically just live on caffeine and low carb paleo, and they do CrossFit and that sort of stuff. But there are also tons of CrossFit guys that are breaking down. The injury rates in CrossFit are probably higher than rugby league. I've heard of lots of guys with really serious injuries that you just don't really see in any other walk of life other than CrossFit. And I think some of this stuff is because of the low carb paleo approach, which Rob Wolf, who's the paleo guru for anyone who's really into the paleo scene, and he was started out as a CrossFit guy, and that's what he says as well. If you're going to be doing CrossFit, then you need to get your carbohydrates in. But that's going to be another separate topic. He's talking about how to survive CrossFit training. The next one is mental lethargy. So you're going to have like low serotonin, so your sleep quality is not going to be as good. You're just generally not going to feel as good about life. You can make you more emotional and all that sort of stuff. So it's just shitty to try and train really hard with low carbohydrate. You actually get leaner and feel better as soon as you up them because of those hormonal factors. So give that a crack, and I'm sure you'll enjoy the benefits. So here's some skinny guy just doing what he does. I guess a lot of my motivation for learning about all this stuff is because I like lifting. Um, so that's I guess my motivation to learn is to try and get stronger, to try and be able to do more stuff. And gradually the more I learn, the better I do things outside the gym. The more I can do in there. Um, yeah, I don't have cancer. I just cut my hair really short, so please don't worry about me. At least for that. um, Here we go. Paleo versus performance. Why does nothing work in 2013? Look at that guy on the right. That's kind of what's happening to us, to society. Even people who are following strict paleo or Western A price now can still have problems, health problems, whatever. I must admit it's a lot less, and you are going to get some great results if you do get your food intake right, not just your carbohydrates, but getting generally a nutrient dense diet and taking out the processed stuff and the chemical stuff and the Franken foods. But there are a few more pieces to the puzzle that you might want to consider if you're not getting the results that you want out of your basic diet. So here are some game changers as far as carbohydrate intake and tolerance goes. So this is point number 4. Stress. We have 1,000 times more stress than our ancestors. So just because it worked for our ancestors doesn't necessarily mean that it's 100% right for us. And I think research has come around to that point now with the Journal of the American Medical Association, one of the big studies with the National Institute of Health in the States. They actually came out and said that you need to supplement to meet your nutrient needs now in the 21st century. You won't get enough nutrients out of your food. Agriculture experts actually said that in the 1930s, they told the government that if we keep doing what we're doing to our soils, our foods are going to be basically worthless in the near future. And those points are all coming out. So we need to. I guess I've just gone down to malnutrition. Magnesium deficiency is related because we overconsume sugar, and sugars. We need magnesium to break down sugar. There's less magnesium in our soils now, in our foods. And also we're not eating as much of the magnesium-rich foods like our green vegetables and that sort of stuff. And then chromium is another trace mineral that, all our trace minerals are likely to be lower if we're eating sort of a standard American or standard Australian diet. So if chromium levels are low, then your carbohydrate tolerance is going to be low, and that's going to change how you deal with your carbohydrate as well. So just ticked off malnutrition. Sorry about jumping around there. Toxicity. So a fat rat, a rat will become fat when it's exposed to a lot of toxins, even if it has the same calorie intake as another rat that doesn't become fat. So all you have to do is to increase the toxicity of a rat or a human, and you'll increase their body fat. So if we can get some of the chemicals out of our houses, out of our daily hygiene routines, then we can also help strip body fat, and that is another piece of the puzzle when it comes to being healthier. So even if you're eating a good diet, if you're exposing yourself to too many toxins, then you won't get the results that you're looking for. Next one is electromagnetic radiation, which makes it more difficult to manage our blood sugars. So there's more and more research coming out about the damage that's done by exposure to electromagnetic radiation. It's pretty obvious now. It's kind of like smoking was maybe 50, 60 years ago, where the research was there, but no one really wanted to listen to it. I think it's kind of the same situation now with the effects of Wi-Fi, telephone towers, mobile phones, all those sorts of things are having a dramatic effect on us. And yeah, I guess eventually that's going to come out. So being aware of electromagnetic radiation, looking into some of the things that you can do to reduce your exposure to it, is also another key to managing your blood sugars and getting the health results you're looking for. Heavy metal toxicity is another common one. We're putting however many tons of mercury into the air every year in our steel making. We're injecting it in some of our vaccines, and that does affect our insulin management. So that's going to affect how you deal with your carbohydrate as well. So a lot of natural medicine doctors or naturopaths now are doing heavy metal detoxes, basically working hard to get heavy metals out of the tissues, out of the bloodstream, and then out of the tissues. And that's another piece of the puzzle in terms of managing blood sugar. Next one we've got is digestive issues. So if our digestive system isn't working well, then even with a good diet, we might not get the results that we're looking for. Things like enzymes, disbiosis, low hydrochloric acid levels can all affect the quality of our digestion. If all our foods are processed, basically we don't get as many enzymes from our food as we would if our foods were raw. So the Paleo man, sort of just ripping stuff down off the trees, or maybe tearing into a bit of a fresh kill before it's cooked, would have got a lot of enzymes, and we're just not getting that same amount of enzymes now. So traditional cultures worked out ways to enrich the enzyme nature, the enzymes in their food, and modern food preparation methods actually diminish the enzyme content of our food. So a lot of us do need extra enzymes. So taking in systemic enzymes as a supplement can be really good, or just working towards more of a traditional diet. So with some more raw foods, obviously salads and that sort of stuff is the easiest place to start, and then go into some of the traditional meals like ceviche or steak tartare or carpaccio, and those sorts of meals are also good ones to go to. They can have powerful detoxifying effects the first time you have them, so watch out. A few guys I know have had diarrhea straight away, and that's basically just a disagreement between the healthy bacteria that they're ingesting and what's living in their gut. It is possible that there was other stuff that shouldn't have been there on the meat that they had, but and I think anytime we get gastro, it's because we really sort of need a clean out. There's probably the time when I had the strongest episode of gastrointestinal stress and cleanse was I took a massive dose of liquid probiotics that some Italians had taken with them to Mexico, and they just left, and they'd left some behind, and I'd had some issues with my gut. I was living on corn and beans, and it wasn't really very close to my ancestral diet. And I thought, I'll do this, maybe it'll help me feel better. and I had massive fever, and I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to anyway. So I had explosive diarrhea for about 3 days. So that was putting healthy bacteria in my gut in the way that that I was meant to be doing according to their protocol, and there was obviously a disagreement between what I had there and um, what I'd put in, and yeah, my gut was a lot better after that though. So I think it was kind of for the better, even though it was a pretty horrific experience, and the local people didn't know what to do with me. I was just in bed and then up at night, just yeah. Oh, that's probably enough details. Um, then we go to hormonal derangement. So environmental estrogens and thyroid inhibitors. These things will also, your thyroid function we went through earlier about why that's important in terms of regulating your metabolism, and things in the environment can mess with your thyroid function. And then environmental estrogens, so like parabens and things like that, can basically cause us to produce more estrogens. So they basically have the effect of like as if we had more estrogen in the bloodstream and make it more difficult for us to use testosterone effectively and those sorts of things. So just upping your estrogen intake will make you fatter. That's part of the feedlot routine is to give cattle more estrogen so they hold more fat and get heavier. It's also like women on the pill, if they when they go off the pill, usually they'll lose a cup size, often they'll gain a cup size and maybe a size in the butt as well. The estrogens help make us hold more fat and more fluid. So these are sort of like some of the other factors that are really important that aren't really getting talked about that much. That even if you're getting your carbohydrate intake right, you can still kind of mess up if you're not getting that stuff right. So the final piece of the puzzle, putting it all together. Yeah, you need to do this. You need to get your carbohydrate intake right. You need to eat real foods, and that's pretty simple and straightforward. And then you need to look at your life. So de-stressing, organising yourself, all those sorts of things are going to have an impact on how successful we are in maintaining our health. Detoxification. We need to be constantly detoxifying if we want to live in good health. And there's simple ways of doing that. It just has to become part of your routine, part of your lifestyle. Using nutrient-rich foods and supplementation, and eating the right amount, of course, of good carbohydrate sources. So the picture on the right there is the guy Remy Casti. I think you might end up seeing more of him in Australia, possibly at some stage. He was the prop of the year last year in the Super League. And he was one of my favorite guys to work with. He really made a massive effort to work on his lifestyle, and his performance just went through the roof. He's a great, very talented rugby league player and worked really hard for a number of years before he even got to the Super League level under a bunch of Australian props who were at the club, and he worked hard, and eventually last year he was basically our best player. He was our vice captain, and he put a lot of this stuff into place. And he talked to me more about it probably just towards the end when I was about to leave. But when I was about to leave the club, that it really had impacted his health off the field, as well as these results on the field were pretty clear for everyone to see. But he was he when you get this stuff right, when you put it into place, awesome things can happen. And, I don't believe that we have any limits to our potential. It's really just a matter that it's up to us to unlock our potential and do things right to make the most of the life that we have and the opportunity that we have. So I hope that you've got something out of this today. If you want to hear more from me, then there's my website, keegansh.com, or I'm going to be moving soon to keeganstrength.com. And then I'm on Twitter, KeeganSH, or on Facebook as well if you want to look me up. So the purpose of of my life is to get this information out there to try and help people on their journey. And if health and vitality are important to you on your journey, then I hope that the research that I do and the information that I share can help you to get to where you want to go. So thanks for listening. Please leave your comments below, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.